Hey guys, so we're back at the training ground now, and we're gonna go over a bunch of different scenarios and things. But first thing we like to talk about when we're out after the classroom is the blood demo. And the reason why we do the blood demo, it's important because it shows what blood looks like when it's dumped on the ground or in a vehicle. And correct me if I'm wrong, people tend to over-exaggerate or under-exaggerate.
Absolutely, yeah. They can be a lot more hypovolemic than we think. Where the big one is there's so much blood there, there's a huge amount of blood. And then we find out later on it's actually quite a small volume. It's very deceiving. That's why this is very handy what Scott does when we show what it looks like on the floor.
So what we talked about in the classroom was we had a liter bottle, so Pepsi bottle. Now, if you're really on a shoestring budget, you can just use water and some food coloring, which is what's in here. If you got a little bit more budget, you can go to the $2 bottle of soap. So what it is, with the soap, it's a little bit more...
It's thicker. It's a better consistent that's equal to blood.
And in fact, what I'll do is I'll just demo, like, so without the actual talk itself, if I dump this out on the ground, it looks pretty good, and it spreads out, but it's really watery, and it gives that demo that we're looking for. But really, the thickness of a soap, and for a couple bucks, it's really gonna help. So you can just see that little bit I poured out, how wide that spread out. So if you walked in and saw that, a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, that's a lot of blood, but really not that much. So if I took the soap, same idea, what I'm gonna do is, if someone got an arterial spray and they start spraying on the blood, so I'm gonna dump, this is actually really thick. Okay, so this is a little thicker than it should be, but I'm gonna go, so this is 2 liters here in this container. That's about, it's pretty thick. So that's about 500 milliliters or a pint of blood. Now when you go to a blood bank or when you give blood, you do about 500 milliliters or a pint. Right? So a pint of blood is all that is. Now, if someone walked in and saw that right now, and you see this, you go into a room, or you come upon a shooting, and you see that looks like a ton of blood. And it is a lot of blood if I lost it as fast as that was. So if I lost it in that quick of succession, that's a lot of blood, and it needs to be mitigated. So we need to put that tourniquet on, we need to pack that wound, we need to apply that pressure. But realistically, when you lose this much blood, which isn't actually that much overall, because how much blood is in the human body?
Average adult is 4.5 to 5.5 liters.
Right, so we can survive through this because when you give blood at a blood bank, they give you a juice, a cookie, and you're normally a little euphoric, but you can carry on every day. You can, they make you wait around for a few minutes, but you can still drive, you can still text on your phone, you can still use your phone if you need to call 911. All those things that you do in your regular day-to-day life, you can still do them. So 500 milliliters of blood isn't really that much. But now if we didn't mitigate this and we carried on, and I keep losing blood, my blood is extra sticky.
This is actually a really good comparison because when the blood goes on the floor, it'll start to coagulate, and you will get that thickness, and you'll get that those clotting factors on the floor as well. So this is a really good demonstration.
Okay, so we're sitting at a liter of blood now. So a liter of blood, it's a lot of blood. When you see this, and if the regular person sees this, or even a trained responder sees this, there's a lot of blood on the ground. And like we said, a lot of people over exaggerate this. They'll say that's all 5 liters right there. Reality, you can still function. You can still, you're going to be feeling it. You're probably going to be getting a little dizzy, I'm suspecting. I've never lost this much blood, but you're going to probably get dizzy, but you're still going to be able to function your phone. So still going to be able to call that 911 because it's important. If you cut yourself or sever an artery, first thing you should be doing is calling 911. Like pack the wounds tight, but call 911 because if you lose this and you start passing out, nothing's going to stop it. So you need that response. If you're a firefighter and you're inside, you activate the RIT team first and then start mitigating that injury you have. So at a liter of blood, we can still function. It's when we start getting into this 1.5 liters, so we're about 1.5 liters worth of blood. It's really spraying now. Okay, so 1.5 liters worth of blood. So that's kind of like the cutoff point for us to be able to kind of effectively assist ourselves. So at this point, we're gonna definitely lose that fine motor control. We're gonna have tunnel vision. We're gonna lose the color vision. A number of other factors are gonna start taking effect. We may not be able to identify friend and foe. So if you're a first responder, like a fire or a paramedic, and say Todd is a downed officer, well, so look at Todd is just sit down right here. He's gonna take out the training gun. If he has his gun out and I show up as a first responder, if I have my backpack over my shoulder, and all he sees is this person in dark clothes, I'm wearing tactical pants, I come in, I might have a uniform on, but he doesn't have color vision anymore. He's gonna be, I don't wanna say panicking, but he's gonna have the adrenaline. He might not be able to identify me as another first responder. And if I'm another officer and I have a gun in my hand, all he's gonna see is that gun. So there's a good potential of a blue on blue of an officer shooting another officer. So a better way to approach would be from an angle. I'd be yelling at him first, because another thing, he's gonna get auditory exclusion, so he's not gonna hear everything I say. So I'm gonna be yelling at him. I'm gonna say who I am, put your gun down, I'm coming in on your left side, so I'll be coming over here. I'm gonna be coming on his left side, and I'm trying to make it as safe as I can, because I still have to help him. I'm not just gonna let him pass out. I'm not just gonna let him bleed out. I still have to help him if I feel it's safe. As I approach, so do I want him with that loaded gun in his hand? Not really. So if I can, and I understand the dynamics of a firearm, and if I can get him to give it up, I will. So that might mean lying to him a bit. Like, hey man, if I'm another officer, I'd be like, hey man, your gun needs fixing. Let me fix your gun. So I'm gonna take his gun away from him. I will drop the magazine away from his sight, rack it. Now he's basically got a hunk of iron in his hand. I'll give it back to him. So now he still feels secure. He still feels like he's in the fight, and I'm gonna be safe now. So that gun is now safe, and we can carry on with what we're doing here. Anything to add?
This is really good visual as well for newer responders who are coming. If you just see a pooling, it could still be an arterial flow, but it could just be a heavy venous flow. But if you start seeing offshoots where it's really spraying and splattering, there's usually an artery involved. Again, depending on the touch style of clothes, if there's multiple layers, or if you're responding to an officer with these types of pants, like the 511 pants, that material, it really holds that blood in. So just be very aware and look at the patterns that you're looking at as well.
So like we said, 5 liters, 4 to 5 liters is what the average human has. So it's really so this is 1.5 liters when we kind of already talked about what happens with that. So once we get down to that last 2 liters, so once that 2 liters is gone, so right about there, that's pretty much 2 liters. That is a ton of blood. So right there, for the most part, the patient is probably going to be losing consciousness.
Yeah.
They're definitely not going to be able to assist themselves anymore. And really the only thing that's going to assist them is a trauma center.
Exactly, and you got to think back to that 20% that we discussed about earlier as well. So 20% loss, that's when you start going to hypovolemic shock as well. So this is 2 liters. You think of your average adult being at 4.5 to 5. You're well surpassed that 20% now. So they're in serious condition.
Right. Yeah. So that's the blood demo. So there's several videos of different people doing this on the internet, including us now. So definitely take this. This is a really good thing to show to people if you're teaching this course.
I think the biggest takeaway too is a lot of the students, they really enjoy seeing this. It's a very good visual. I mean, we're all visual, tactile learners anyways, usually, and this is a big takeaway.
Okay.